Hey, Brett. We split the bills, we split the rent. I feel pretty bad about it, but I had to ask Tasha to move out to make space for Leida and Alessandro. Tasha's been dragging her heels looking for a new place, and I have no other options.
The 90-Day Fiancé reality television show has tickled the imagination of the hopeless romantic who is dreaming of having a foreign national for a future husband or wife. The series has been successful since its TV debut on the 12th of January 2014, and due to its high ratings, the TLC cable channel has created numerous spin-off series too. Fans have been amazed at how it was well received, not only in the US, but also internationally. The couples from the 6th season encountered many obstacles and had far more drama as compared to previous seasons. The producers of TLC's 90-Day Fiancé presented the realities of how international dating between an American citizen and a foreigner using the K-1 visa or the 90-Day Fiancé visa would fare. The TV show chronicled the process couples needed to follow from the day they fetch their visiting partners from their home country or airport up to the time their visiting visa expires. The law requires that the American partner file an I-129F application in the US, and the foreign national must apply for a US visa. The process involves passing an interview, a medical examination, and providing proof that they were indeed in a relationship. The moment their applications were approved, the foreign fiancé would be given a 90-day US visa, hence the title of the show. The couples were given 90 days to marry, and the foreign partner has to return to their home country. From the get-go, the couples featured in the 6th season of 90-Day Fiancé were brimming with possible high-strung volatile scenarios due to the contrasting personalities in this batch and the situations they were about to enter. Indeed, from the airing of the first episode on the 21st of October 2018 to the end of the season with its final episode on the 13th of January 2019, there were a lot of jaw-dropping moments that made the season even more intriguing. Ashley, a 31-year-old bartender and a mother of 2 kids from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, went to Jamaica to attend a wedding of one of her friends. On a girls' night out, she met Jay, a tattoo artist, and hit it off with him. He's 11 years younger than Ashley, but she claimed that he was extremely mature for his age, even if he has the personality of being the life of a party. She continued thinking of him when she went back home, and it didn't take long for her to return to Jamaica to be with him. They spent 8 days together. One night he proposed, and she said yes. Her best friend, whose wedding she attended, told her that he cheated on her in Jamaica, but Ashley couldn't care less. Her best friend was worried about her, since cheating was the reason for Ashley's 2 failed relationships. However, Ashley did say that it would bother her if Jay would cheat on her in the US, and would send him packing then. Colt, a 33-year-old software engineer from Las Vegas, Nevada, was a self-proclaimed mama's boy. He has 3 cats at home and lives with his mother, Debbie. They haven't parted ways since birth and became even closer when his father died. His mother cooked for him, did his laundry, drove him to and from work because they only have 1 vehicle. His mom said that she spoiled her only son to the point that Colt doesn't know how to make his own bed. His previous relationships all gave him a broken heart. After not having any luck with American girls online, he decided to check out foreign girls and found Larissa. She lived in Brazil and was only 2 years younger than him. They met in Cancun, Mexico. After spending 5 days with her, Colt knew that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her, so he proposed before they parted ways. He believed that Larissa was more emotional, while he's more rational, and that it could be a problem in the future. From the get-go, it was interesting. She believes that all Americans are wealthy. Jonathan, a 32-year-old real estate broker from Lumberton, North Carolina, divides his time between working out in the gym and selling houses at work. Back when he was 22 years old, he played baseball for the University of Carolina and enjoyed the life of a bachelor way too much. He never thought his bachelor days would be over, but when he went to Mexico for a vacation, he met 19-year-old Fernanda. Jonathan said that everything stopped when he met her on the dance floor in a bar. He shocked her when he spoke Spanish, and he extended his stay for 3 more days to be with her. He claimed that nobody brought the best out of him the way she did. He kept their 12-year gap from his friends because at first he felt it was quite weird. His biggest fear was that she would change her mind within the 90-day limit. They were dating for about 3 months before he proposed to her. During their time together, he was already providing for her financially. He sent her a monthly allowance, enrolled her in college, bought her a Jeep, and even had her breast enhanced. Kalani, a 29-year-old single mom from Southern California, had a hard time taking care of her baby boy Oliver, but her whole family helping out made it easier. She was raised as a Mormon, as her father was a Mormon, and was engaged to Asuelu, a younger guy from Samoa and the father of her baby. Asuelu grew up in a small fishing village, and he hasn't left Samoa all his life. She met him at a resort she stayed in when she had a vacation on the island. He was the activities director in the resort. He semi-stalked her, which she found cute, as she felt somehow protected when she was swimming in the pool or walking around the resort. She claimed she was a virgin before she met Asuelu, because premarital sex is a big no-no in the Mormon faith. However, when she met him again on her next trip to Samoa, she felt she'd found someone she loved and wanted to experience everything with him. Her family didn't like Asuelu, especially when he got her pregnant, although consensual. They all seemed to feel that he was just using her to get into the US, and her sister even pointed out that he must have done it to all the American tourists at the resort. Asuelu wasn't there when she gave birth, but she took her 2-month-old baby to see his father in Samoa. When they talked about where to raise him, Asuelu said that it was obvious that it would be in the US, since all the opportunities were there. She arranged for a K-1 visa for him, but was afraid of what would happen when Asuelu finally met her father, who was a tough and intimidating man. Her father also told her that he didn't work his ass off for the past 35 years just for someone to mess up his family, especially his grandson's life. Eric is a 40-year-old avionics technician and supervisor from Baraboo, Wisconsin, who has been on active service in the U.S. Marines for 9 years. He was previously married for 20 years and was divorced in 2016. He has 3 daughters, aged 21, 19, and an 11-year-old. After his divorce, he dated other women, but none worked out, and he believed that the universe wanted him to stay single. He was about to apply to serve in Turkey or Afghanistan to fight ISIS, but decided to try it out one last time by posting an ad on an international dating website. His post said, "Divorced male in America, looking to start over in life with somebody who wants to live in the US to share a life with him." One of the first to respond was Leida, a teacher in Jakarta, Indonesia, who claimed to be a model, an actress, a med school graduate, and who was the 5th runner-up in the Miss Indonesia beauty pageant in 2009. Initially, he didn't believe her, thinking that those qualifications weren't real, and wondered if he was being catfished. He Googled her, was amazed, and decided to meet her in person. They only spent 2 days together, but he was hooked. He proposed, and Leida said yes. Everyone around him said it was crazy, but he applied for a K-1 visa for her, and it was approved. She also brought her 5-year-old son from a previous relationship. She lived all her life in luxury, and her family spoiled her. His big concern was her adapting to live with him in the US with a lower lifestyle. Steven, a 20-year-old waiter from Bowie, Maryland, didn't finish high school because he didn't take it seriously. He was arrested a few times for doing graffiti and other things he considered harmless. He was kicked out of his home by his mother when he was 16 years old due to his troublemaking antics. Since then, he bounced between his friend's house to his grandmother's. He was just playing around with girls until he met Olga, a 20-year-old Russian girl, on the beach during a summer vacation. He was intrigued by her accent, awed by her adventurous personality, and fell in love with her. They were just having fun, but were both shocked when she became pregnant a week before she was scheduled to return to Russia. Steven said the moment he learned that she's carrying his baby, he knew that he would be involved in the baby's life. Even if they only knew each other for just 1.5 months, he would do all the things he wanted to do with his dad that he never got to do, because his father died when he was 7 years old. Initially, they didn't know what to do, but after talking about it for some time, they decided to marry and raise their kid in the US to hopefully have a better life. They had problems with the K-1 visa due to the politics between the two countries at the time. His grandmother said that of all the countries he got to pick, why did it have to be Russia? According to his grandmother, problems between the two countries became even worse when President Trump took over, but Steven said he didn't know anything about Russia before he met Olga. At that time, he was hoping the visa application would be approved the moment he goes to Russia for the baby's birth, so he can bring them all back to the US. The 90 days that the couples were together weren't easy, but they were all married except for Steven and Olga at the time the tell-all episode was aired in January 2019. When they started the episode, Colt and Larissa weren't around, and the other couples were discussing if Larissa would appear at all, as she was involved in legal issues at the time. It came out in the interviews that all of them encountered problems. Some were in strained relationships not only with each other, but with the other couples as well. They fought with each other, traded insults, and some even walked out during the interview. Eventually, Colt and Larissa came. She was extremely disappointed with the choices of clothes that the studio prepared for her because she wanted to look better than Fernanda. When they joined the interview, the host asked the couple to address their issues with Fernanda and Jonathan. Everything went crazy after that, with Larissa going ballistic each time Fernanda was asked to speak. Some exchanges became heated, but eventually they all calmed down and finished the interview. So where are the couples now? Ashley filed for divorce in January 2019, but the two reunited after Jake convinced her to take another chance with him. They gave their relationship another try, but they eventually separated in 2020, and their divorce was finally granted in the first quarter of 2021. Colt and Larissa's relationship was one of the most volatile in the 6th season. They were married in 2018, but separated after 6 months. Apparently, it turned out Larissa was extremely physical when arguing, so she was charged with misdemeanor domestic violence in January 2019. The police even concluded that she inflicted scratch marks on her own body. 2 days later, Colt filed for divorce. Both of them haven't given up on finding love, so they both participated in one of these spin-off series called Happily Ever After. He paired up with another woman named Jess from Brazil, and Larissa paired up with Eric Nichols. When things didn't work out, she participated in a lingerie show, which forcibly released her from her TLC contract. She then said in interviews that the show was scripted. Jonathan and Fernanda ended up divorcing in March 2020, despite the initial success of hitting it off. Apparently, they separated 6 months after marrying in 2018, and he canceled her green card application. Reportedly, they haven't contacted each other since December 2018. Kalani and Asuelu's relationship seemed to work out fine after encountering many problems following their 90-day Fiancé stint. They went to participate in another spin-off series, but fans were shocked with their huge fights during the pandemic. Eventually, they were able to sort things out, and fans were relieved, especially as they now have another son born in May 2019. Eric and Leida are still together, which surprised many fans. Of all the foreigners who came to the US on the 6th episode of 90 Day Fiancé, she was dubbed as the show's main villain. Fans took her as a selfish, entitled, and a cruel Indonesian woman. They didn't like her, especially when she treated Eric's children from his previous marriage quite badly. The other couples from the show were quite shocked that Eric never defended his children and took the side of his new wife. Steven and Olga's relationship turned out to be another surprise for the fans, since all were expecting it to not work out, partly because they were very young when they met. He eventually got her the K-1 visa, and they were married just days after celebrating their 2nd anniversary as a couple. Initially, they rented their own place, but things got harder when the pandemic struck, so their family went to live with his grandmother. There was a time when he announced on social media that they'd broken up, but were civil with each other since their son was their priority. However, photos from his Instagram account showed that they went back to Russia for a family vacation, and it seemed that they were back together. In November 2021, he posted that they'd moved to a new house in New York, and in January 2022, Olga posted a video of them enjoying the snow with the caption, "Our first time snow in New York." So, good value entertainment? Only you, the viewer, can answer that question.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.